You know what time it is. Welcome back to the Sports Shop. DL Reese K. Mac, Pam, Tom Smith, the firm, A-Time behind glass. When you hear this return, you know what time it is. Watch the Mom B. Rob try to get in tune with what's going on the legal front of things and the business side of things. Just welcome back to the Sports Shop. GRWR, Greg, Attorney Greg Williams. What's up, brother? How you doing?
Good morning. So we're gonna jump right into it.
Well, before we do it, did you hear that your influence, how you influence people and stuff like that?
Well,
I mean,
I was, I try to walk with humility.
Oh my God. He's a lawyer.
When
exactly. That's what I
they'll
thought.
say anything.
When you mention with Giants, I just kind of got to take a step back and.
Okay, but we'll get into that a little later. But anyway,
on that list,
okay,
I am the only one that literally could walk in and help you change your mind.
Yeah, exactly.
And the list he's talking about: Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Dr. J, Jackie Robinson,
right,
Muhammad Ali, Nick Saban.
Well,
Dr. J.
I'm the only one here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, keep going. Yeah, keep going.
Kareem, Nick,
Dr.
Julius.
Man, Julius show, but he get me. Anyway, that's right. What you got today, man?
Right. So, speaking of Julius, we're going to start with in the basketball world.
Okay.
A lot of times we come back and kind of circle back to stories that we cover, kind of follow them as they progress through the legal system.
Sure.
One of those stories was Zion Williamson versus Prime Sports Management.
Oh wow.
We covered that a few months ago.
That's with the girl.
Right.
North Carolina was associated with some kind of way, wasn't it?
Correct.
Yeah.
The agent he signed with Prime Sports, Gina Ford.
Okay.
And then he switched to CAA.
Okay.
And then he sent her a cease and desist letter, basically letting her know that he was going with another company. Legal fight ensued. He went to the Middle District of North Carolina seeking a declaratory judgment to rule the contract null and void. The basis for that was that Ms. Ford never registered with the state of North Carolina as an agent, which is required. That was the basis of his request for relief from the courts. Also, the contract didn't have the required disclaimer near the signature line for the athlete that basically advised them of some of the repercussions of actually signing the contract. So based on those two things, he was awarded that declaratory judgment. She then sued him for breach of contract. The case was appealed up to the Fourth Circuit. The Fourth Circuit came down and ruled that because she didn't follow the guidelines, that the contract was void. So essentially, if an agent doesn't register with the state of North Carolina, any contract they sign is void. Now, what's interesting, one of the things that they presented, that Gina Ford presented, was that he was not a student athlete at the time he signed the contract. And she was basing that on alleged violations.
Okay.
Okay.
So
that's interesting.
Duke basketball and league violation. That was the allegations in the lawsuit.
That never happens.
Yeah. So she was arguing that he wasn't a student athlete because he was technically ineligible because of those violations at the time he signed the contract. But the court came back and said that if a student athlete is engaged in participation in that sport, he's considered a student athlete. Also, since there was never a determination by Duke that he was ineligible, imagine that. That he technically was eligible. So the court couldn't speculate that he would potentially be found to be ineligible at some point in the future. So therefore, the case was dismissed, or the ruling in favor of Zion was upheld. So we have some new law that kind of comes down identifying what qualifies a student athlete, as well as the requirements for an agent to enter into a valid contract.
Wow.
So who is she again? Because I guess I'm just trying to figure out how, like, your contract's not right, you're not registered, you're trying to sign agreements with 17, 18-year-olds. Who was she legit?
Well, did you hear what Pam said earlier?
Oh, okay, all right.
She would have Gregory R. Williams coming in.
Lord. We created a monster now. This one now. We created a damn monster.
That's what happens. That's what happens when people try to be their own lawyer.
They
try to draft contracts and create contracts, and they miss. They don't dot the I's, they don't cross the T's, and now you have nothing.
I can ask AI right now, and it would give me everything that she did wrong. I could avoid all of that.
They didn't have it then.
But that may be true.
That's true.
Yeah.
They did.
Right.
They did.
What was that? Was that his stepdaddy? What's gonna be? I'm just trying to. She wasn't even close to being legit.
Yeah, wasn't even close. Not even close.
But how did they think that was going to work though? Given that.
Well, how did she think it? They didn't. I don't think they knew any better.
Yeah. Well, a lot of times, when people think they have something that's not going to be contested, they're not as formal as they should be. In other words, they have a gentleman's agreement or a handshake agreement. Yeah. They think it's just
we all cool.
Right. Everything is cool until there's an objection and someone's trying to get out of something. Then you go back to the paperwork. And at the paperwork,
it's all about the paperwork.
It's all about the paperwork.
if I recall correctly, like wow. that year or 2 years before that, there was a big deal about people having to be registered as agents.
Yeah.
And one of the things they put in place was you had to have some kind of degree or some type of formalized education or something to go along with that. And everybody was saying they're just doing that to keep guys from getting their friends to be their agent, et cetera, et cetera.
You got to be certified. You have to be certified.
That's what it was.
Yeah, but the problem is, not the problem, but it's a two-step process.
She don't read the news?
It's a two-step process. So there's certification.
Okay.
With the NBA.
Okay.
And then there's registration with the state. Those are two completely separate processes.
Boy.
So what happens? A lot of people probably take the certification test. They get certified. I'm straight, I'm legit, here's my paperwork, but then they don't register with the state. And then someone wants to get out of the contract. Oh, you didn't register with the state. We're done. We don't have an agreement.
Okay, all right. I just thought I would have.
Yeah. So that's the story of Prime Sports and how they lost that case.
Are they still active?
They better not be.
That's a great
I know. Are they still?
That I don't know, but if they are, I'm sure they have updated paperwork.
Gotta get your paperwork together.
Right.
Somebody right now said, "What was that lady's name?"
I know. Because it looks familiar.
Right.
What she look like? She said, I think I had dinner with her last night. We're Atty Gregory R, who runs with each once a month to come in and just update us on some things that's going on in the legal world. What she got going on, G?
So again, we just finished discussing the Zion Williamson versus Prime Sports.
Right.
In keeping with that topic, we're going to segue to Shiloh Sanders.
Talk to me now. Set this up. What's going on with Shiloh?
So Shiloh, among some of the other things that go on with him and his family, he was involved in an altercation back in 2015 with a security guard, and he assaulted the security guard. The allegation is that the security guard tried to take his cell phone, and he wasn't having it, elbowed the guy. And
was he going in an event or something where, you remember?
I think he was outside talking on the phone with his mother is what he claimed.
Okay.
And you said 2015?
It was in 2015. I think it was 2015. I'm sorry. The date, he was 15 when it happened.
Okay.
That's about that's what I was just trying to put the math together. Like
Okay.
Like, man.
So he assaulted this guard. Guard had some pretty extensive injuries, as he alleges. Sounds like he was
a big kid, man.
Yeah. Sounds like it was a beatdown. He elbowed him in the chest and then beat him and got him on the ground and pounded him.
15 is big these days, man.
He little now.
Okay. Anyway, I'm sorry. G. Go ahead.
So the security guard sued him for damages. Actually sued his parents as well, Shiloh's parents, Dion and Pilar.
I got you.
They were eventually dismissed from the lawsuit, but it proceeded against Shiloh. This is when when the lawsuit was actually filed, he was at South Carolina. He retained counsel. He was being represented, and it became clear that he would not be able to continue paying the retainer for his lawyer. So his lawyer withdrew from the case.
Okay.
So he broke rule number 1. when you're involved in a legal matter. Rule number 1 is always pay your lawyer.
That's right.
If you had to say so yourself.
Well, Jigga said chains is cool to cop, but more important is lawyer fees.
Oh, okay.
I'm not mad at you.
So pay your lawyer. So his lawyer withdrew from the case. Then, if you remember, he transferred from South Carolina.
Yeah, to
I think he went to Jackson
State.
Yeah, from there. Yeah. So as this process is going on, the case continues to move forward, and they attempt to send him notice of hearings at his South Carolina address.
Well, he wasn't there.
He wasn't there.
Right.
And he didn't have an attorney that could forward that could receive notice on his behalf.
Oh, wow.
So long story short, he missed the trial.
Yeah.
He didn't show up for the hearings, didn't show up for the trial, so the court basically entered a default judgment against him in the amount of $11.8 million, just by him not being there.
Really?
Yeah. So
$11 million for a 15 against a 15-year-old.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you don't show up.
15, bro.
They get what they asked for.
15.
You know?
Yeah, but the injury.
Yeah.
Right.
So
really severe injury.
Yeah.
15.
So
Oh,
so $11.8 million in damages, which obviously he doesn't have. So he filed bankruptcy. I don't know if you saw this in the news over the last couple of months. He actually filed bankruptcy.
Yeah. Pringle just hit me with that. He filed bankruptcy. He just said that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. In an attempt to prevent himself from having to pay that judgment. So Colorado has some laws that allow you to declare bankruptcy. You have to forfeit over some certain assets.
How much was the suit though? How much was he had to pay?
$11.8 million.
Oh yeah, well yeah, okay,
yeah. So he had to.
He was 15, bro.
Yeah.
Come on.
So he had to give up items like jewelry, cash, cars.
I got 1,500. I can get. I get that 11 million.
Let me get that rolling. Let me get that rolling. Let me get that rolling.
So it sounds like the filing that he made when he filed a relief for judgment, it was kind of one of those, I got checking in the savings, but all my money's in my savings, and it's going to take 3 business days to get to my check.
That's stupid.
But the purpose of the bankruptcy is to allow him to kind of basically get out of paying this, debt. He had to declare his assets. His income was $193,000 one year and $200,000 the next year. I think
income,
NIL deals.
Yeah.
Commercial deals, things of that nature. And he actually, he initially declared $478,000 of assets. And then they reduced that in a subsequent filing to $320,000, and that brings us to the other topic we're going to discuss.
Yeah, very quickly. Yeah,
of asset protection. The reduction was because the other assets were actually owned by his company, his LLC. I think it's Prime 21 Sports LLC or something like that.
So they can go at him directly because assets are owned by a company.
Correct. So he signed his NIL deals through his LLC.
So he's still getting paid.
Smart.
Yeah, he's still getting paid. The company's got the money, and then he can kind of control it.
Well, there it is right there. That's the lesson right there. So what's the message you're trying to tell people right now about this?
Holla at GRW Law before you do anything. Let me get your paperwork right.
Get your paper up.
Let me get you straight. And another quick thing.
Yeah.
The person that can change your decision. I was actually in a commercial with Coach Dean Smith, a Boy Scout commercial.
No way.
Yep. Filmed it at the Dean Smith Center.
Wait a minute, hold up. Are you serious?
Dead serious.
How old were you there?
I was probably 9th or 10th grade.
And how did you get selected?
My Boy Scout troop got selected, or our district got selected, and I was pulled out of that district to be in this commercial. Now, I'll never forget it. We went up there. He signed a $5 bill for me. It's still on my mirror at my parents' house. And he walking down the stairs.
Yeah, Coach Smith probably in my list too.
Yeah.
Like Rashid.
Yeah, I remember the first lines of the commercial. The real winners in any sport. Boom, 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 boom.
Wow.
That is wow.
Wow.
One caveat to the conversation on Sanders is it's Deion's fault.
Why is that?
Because he was the coach and he had the rule about the phone, and he found out that he was out there talking to his mama, and he told the security guard to go get the phone.
No way.
According to the New York
His
Post.
dad's the reason that fight broke out.
So he should pay it.
And then the guard sued the dad.
Yes.
Damn, Dion.
People trying to come up, man.
Hey, they trying to get that paper up for real.
I saw a picture of the security guard. Yeah, he on the come up.
He said, "You're my brother in Christ. I need you to go get that phone."
Hey, look. He on the come up, bro.
Are you serious? Are you serious? Are you serious? So
he'll take the rolling.
Gee, I appreciate that. So, but let's stay in the same line of previous little set we was doing. So, do you have a name? Is Dean that name? Dean Coach Smith that name that walks in? That convinces you to make a major decision. Who is that person that will walk in and say, "Hey, I think it's a good idea," and you make that decision?
I'll probably have a list. It would Coach Smith would definitely be on that list. Muhammad Ali would be on that list.
Okay.
MJ.
Yeah. MJ. Yeah. Okay.
Sherrod Banks.
Yeah.
The Sherrod Banks.
Yeah. No way. In fact, No what? You right about that. Right. In fact, I was winning all weekend. And you convinced me to do some stuff.
Right.
No, for real. That's real talk.
Between him and James Mitchell.
That's
them two show up. You're like, oh.
I gotta really make a decision now.
Now I gotta sit down and listen.
I call Sherrod the professor.
That's a really good one, man. That's a really good one.
Him, Butch.
Butch
was
another Butch Williams, good guy. So, Pat, you want to add to your list your favorite sitting right next to you?
That's it.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
Really, Pam? Seriously. Matt, I'm out of it. I'm just saying, man.
Look, many times I didn't know I was playing golf with a living legend.
I'm gonna look too different, man. You know, that's great over there, man.
And the game changer, man.
I'm like, I got his name in my phone.
And you probably